Pompeii, an ancient Roman city that was buried by the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Today, this remarkably preserved site is open to the public to explore. I have just arrived in the most famous archaeological site in the world, a city frozen in time for nearly 2,000 years. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted and buried this Roman city in ash and pumice, which is why it's so perfectly preserved today. As an aspiring archaeologist, this is an absolute dream. Walking along the cobblestone streets feels almost like stepping back in time with the city's layout still intact. Wide avenues and smaller alleyways connect different parts of Pompeii, leading past empty storefronts where merchants once sold oil, wine, and fish sauce.
This is insane.
The structure behind me is the Thermopylaeum. It's like this ancient Roman food stand that functioned much like a modern fast food stand. Pompeii was a bustling city. Many of its residents, particularly the working class, would probably have to rely on getting a quick meal that was affordable. The counter, painted in like this distinct yellow, is so remarkably well preserved. It also has large storage jars called dolia that was used to hold hot food, keeping it ready for customers throughout the day. The frescos decorating the front kind of showed some insight into what you would order here, whether it was roosters, fish. Obviously, poultry was on the menu along with other common Roman staples like lentils, spiced wine, and stuff like that. It's pretty incredible that food street culture has, ready-to-eat meals have been around for thousands of years. Traces of daily life are everywhere, with graffiti scratched into walls, election posters still visible on buildings, and even plaster casts of people who didn't escape the eruption. One of the most well-preserved aspects of Pompeii is its artwork. Pompeii is famous for its fresco paintings, vivid and colorful despite being nearly 2,000 years old. The city is covered in art, and these frescoes show everything from mythological scenes to daily life and even allusions to make small rooms appear larger. But frescoes weren't just for the elite. Many homes, even modest ones, had painted walls featuring landscapes, still lifes, and even what we might consider advertisements. And speaking of advertisements, yes, Pompeii is full of phallic symbols.
I get $1.
Carved into the streets, painted on walls, even sculpted onto buildings. But before you assume the worst, these weren't crude jokes left behind by mischievous Romans. In Roman culture, the phallus was a symbol of good luck, protection, and prosperity. Many of these carvings, especially those found on street corners, were believed to ward off the evil eye, a common superstition in the ancient world. Others were directional signs guiding travelers to one of Pompeii's most famous institutions, the brothel.
Yeah, this is it, Sarah. What we learnt last night.
Yeah.
The bricks.
Oh yeah.
So it's when an earthquake, so the cracks would come through and then they would stop and it would divert the cracks in an earthquake. That's why they did patches in the centre of brickwork. They had that knowledge.
Back then, yeah.
So cool.
This is such a surreal experience to be able to walk the same streets and see the same buildings as those Romans back in the day. Like, it's a little macabre, but it's incredible.
So
They would have
subscribe.
subscribe to M. Harris Adventure Exploration
Emily Expedition.
Expedition.
Fake
Emily.
fan.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god, buy the merch.